completely removed, and then you're trying to force it. That can uh, tear the pads. They can tear the uh, the wired thread inside the hole, the through hole that creates um, that connectivity from one side of the board to the other. Another mistake is neglecting to keep track of screws and small components. So I recommend using a specific, using a magnetic project mat to keep everything in place. As you can see, I have a mat. Most, if not all my benches, I have these little mats that I got off of Amazon that sits on top of my ESD mats, and these mats are ESD. They have little pockets, square pockets where you can drop components and screws and things like that out the way of your main work surface. So you can drop them in here and keep track. Or what I like to do when I'm working at the company, I have little caps and little cups and things like that where I drop the screws in there where I can keep track and make sure what we like to prevent is FOD, foreign object debris. You don't want any object that doesn't belong in the unit that's floating around that can cause a unit to malfunction later in the field. So FOD, uh, foreign object debris. Foreign object debris is FOD. So now let's move on to our hands-on repair for today. These broken power supplies I just normally would get and just try to bring them back to life, right? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on this power supply. I'm replacing a resistor and a smart transistor. It appears to be shorted, and what is happening is that at 2 ohms load on load box, uh, the 12-volt output shorts down to about zero point 0.5 volts. So right there, you know something shorted, right? So probing through, checking transistors, checking capacitors. What I have, this device here, I have this MESR-100 ESR meter. Um, they recommend that you check the capacitors in questions out the circuit, but I'm starting to realize, I'm starting to see that the accuracy, the capacitors in and out, is about I don't know, 5% difference. It's not that bad. You know, if you suspect that you have a bad or shorter capacitor and you're not sure, you don't want to take it out, I do recommend a device like this. And once you check it in the circuit and you're still saying, well, you know what, I that gives you that extra confidence to remove that capacitor and then check it again, and you say, oh yeah, it was worth you getting this device because I was right, and it does perform about 95% accurate while the components in the circuit. That's what I have seen so far. If there's something different out there, if somebody got a different number, fine. But right now, I have been lucky that the capacitor that's in the circuit, I tested with the test device here, the MESR 100 ESR meter, and I took it out, and it was off about one or two numbers. In fact, and I replaced it, and it worked.